it's like when you get this inspirational hit of this great idea or this next step that you're moving into, and it's like, yes, this is it. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm going for. You go about creating it, whether it's a offer or a business or a course or a membership or whatever it is. You get so excited about this new thing and you're all in. You have it all planned out. You have all the steps. You know exactly what you're doing. It's all working out perfectly as it needs to sort of come together with all those pieces. You get excited about sharing the information. You have the plan on how you're going to show people what this new thing is that you have, and you have these desires, and you can see how all these people are going to come into this place, and this is going to be amazing. And you start doing it, and it's crickets. Okay, maybe I need to tweak it a little bit. Still crickets. Oh, and you look at your posts, you look at your social media, and of course you have all those well-intentioned supporters commenting and liking your stuff, telling you what a great offer this is, how amazing this could be. Oh, wow, look at what you've created. This looks amazing. You're like, I know, it's great, right? Still crickets. And you get to this stage where it's like, okay, so I'm using my intuition. I've been clearing out all my shadows. I'm allowing these things to flow in intuitively. I'm using all the steps that I've learned from all the experts on how to do these things. Okay, why is it not working? Why aren't people running at me to try and get this thing that I'm offering? And I remember seeing many people, even myself, asking that question. Well, if it's so in tuned and aligned, why aren't these people running towards us? Why aren't these things selling out? And there were many different answers that I heard along the way. Oh, you are holding on to a shadow somewhere. You are not fully releasing to it. You are not really committed to it. You are not getting the right audience. The words that you're speaking aren't quite there yet. So many different answers and so many different opinions on why these things aren't happening. And whilst all of them may be true, you would go back to the drawing board and you would listen to that advice and you would think, okay, well, maybe I need to do this. Maybe I need to do that. Maybe I should try this. And then you continue. So you make all these changes. You tweak all these offers and things that you're putting out there, but you're still getting crickets. Must be something from your past life. No, you're still holding on to something. Something's still tangled up there. And you keep going. And a lot of the time, people will stop at this point, or you'll keep going, but you start getting into this place of desperation. So if you have decided to make this who you are and how you exist in your human reality, if this is your business, if this is the only source of income, and you get yourself into this state where it's like, okay, so I'm just going to trust in the universe. I'm just going to trust that the money's going to come. I'm going to trust that my intuition is bringing in all the right ideas at the right time. And you keep going and nothing's happening. One thing I have learned, if you keep doing the same thing and it's not working, you need to try something else, or you need to do something different. And I have been down pretty much every single road and tried every single thing and wondered, why the fuck is this shit not working? Like, there is so much brilliance in so many things. Oh, the things I have created. It's like you just want to have a little moment to celebrate how many things you created, whether it was the words that you wrote, whether it was the graphics, the name, the way you set it out, the course, the material that was attached to it. There was so much beauty in it, but is it what you were supposed to be doing? And I know we are working on our own intuition, and we are using these guided downloads to tell us what we should be doing, what our next step is. And the problem is, as we're going along this journey and as we're listening to all these things, you know what happens when you're putting things out there, when you're on this healing journey, there's those little voices and little thoughts popping into your head saying, no one's going to buy it. Do you really think you should charge that much? Are you the right person who should be teaching that? Do you think you're really an expert on doing that? And it's never ending. And you will have your own thoughts and your own little voices that are coming in and telling you that it's not going to work, that it's not going to happen. And you think that these are shadows that you need to work on. These thoughts, these voices, it's like, okay, because we have learned that our shadows hold us back from stepping into this new creation or this new version of self or whatever this thing is that we want to have out there and we want to give to people. When these thoughts and these ideas come into our head, we associate it to it as something that we need to work on, something that we need to look at in order for us to get to this next step. However, what if that shadow or that belief or that thought that's popping in is just a way to dull down that intuitive thought or idea that you already had, and it's just reducing your desire towards it. It's reducing the energetic force that you were putting to it when you were first creating it. It's like, I'm so excited to because of these thoughts. These thoughts are dropping us down. These thoughts are bringing us down into this lower vibrational frequency. And it's like, when we're existing in a place where we are surrounded by other people, other thoughts, other ideas, and watching people creating all these offers around us, there is a level of the energetic connection that happens within our field. Our energetic vibrational frequency is the essence of us that allows us to determine where and how we connect to different things in our experience, whether it's thoughts, whether it's the things we bring into our existence. That'll depend on where we are at right now. Where is our vibrational frequency? As we move towards that higher and higher vibrational frequency, we match to different things. As we release those beliefs, those shadows, those things that murky up our vibration, it starts to get clearer and clearer, and we're in a place where we can really fine tune those vibrational frequencies in different areas of our life. With our energetic vibrational frequencies, and because we're talking about light, and the sole purpose of our existence is to move toward the light, to become light, to embody light. And we can associate our vibrational frequency to light as it's seen on a color spectrum. So it is measured in the same way with wavelengths. And the higher vibrational frequency, the shorter the wavelength, which means the color is more intense, it's more bright, it's more luminescent. I talk about something called a luminescent field, which is that purest essence of the color spectrum that you can see with your human eye. So when you relate that color to your vibrational frequency, that is where your frequency is so well tuned, because it is vibrating higher and higher and higher. Because as it's vibrating, it's releasing those shadows, releasing those layers, and becoming this beautiful vibrancy of color. So in the luminescent field, we are operating at this high vibrational frequency as the image of this luminescent range of colors. And as we move through different areas, we're allowed to vibrate up into these colors. We start matching to different things. The problem is most of us sit in a space where we have worked on a lot of those shadows and worked on a lot of those beliefs and increased our vibrational frequency. But because we are also in a space with others who are at a similar vibrational frequency, we become this collective idea of thoughts and energetic codes where we're all sort of moving around, moving on similar type of things, the similar sort of scenarios, but we're also working on expressions of ourself that are similar to each other because we're vibrating the same. So what happens is, even though we're in this beautiful clear space of shadows and beliefs, the intuitive thoughts that come in are connected to these vibrational frequencies as well. So they may still be your very in tune intuitive thought, but they are covered in the things that other people have done or things that have been successful for someone else or variations on that. And it's not like, oh my goodness, this person over here, like she's similar to me and she just offered this, so I'm going to do that and I'm going to copy that. It's not like that. It's where it feels like, and it could be your next intuitive step coming through, but it is based on that energetic frequency of that collective energy that is surrounding you. And your energetic vibration is just drawing on the things, the colors, the codes, the vibration, the frequency that it is in that moment. So even though you're in this beautiful space, it's like there's still a pool of ideas and thoughts that we're all pulling in, and it's, oh, I'm over here, I'm doing a bit of this and a bit of that, even though someone over there is doing a bit of this and a bit of that. The trick is to vibrate in such a way that you are so unique that there's not going to be people who are going to match to you. So then what happens is the information, the intuitive information that you receive and the things that you feel like offering are so much more in tune with your frequency, not the frequency of others, that you are able then to sustain your support behind whatever it is that you're offering. Because way back over there, when you were getting those intuitive thoughts and you were creating that whole new thing and you were making it like on paper, it was perfect. You had it intuitively come in, you created it, you executed it, you wrote it well, you designed it well, you created the whole flow of the process, but people weren't buying it. It's because not because it wasn't a great idea or a great thing that you put out there, because it wasn't energetically tuned with your own unique vibrational frequency. And I use those words a lot. And as I continue to grow, as I continue to learn, I really start to tune more and more into the beauty of that place you get to when you fully allow that truth of who you are and that highest vibrational frequency of who you are, based purely on this, on nothing else that comes in outside, not your friends, not the people you surround you with, not the people you work with, not your mentors, not the things you read on social media. It is purely you. What happens when we're energetically still sitting where the majority of people are sitting and we're still attached to the light grid? Because we're listening to everyone else and we're following the things that everyone else tells us to do, the way that we market ourselves, the way that we speak to people is going about it the wrong way. So a lot of the messages that you hear of when you're doing your social media is speak to your niche, speak to your audience, speak to the pain points, speak to what they want to hear, say the things in this way so that they do this thing. And I've always been repulsed by that because I'm like, ugh. I always found that sort of doing that didn't really gel with the way that I wanted to do things. And obviously you can do what you want. You can market in the way that you want. You can understand how humans work and how they engage with things and how they will purchase things. That's all well and good. But for me, instead of trying to do things in a way that I am trying to, in a way, make people do things, because it's like, oh, you need to be doing this in order for this to happen. You need to be doing this for this to happen. Instead of doing that, if we marketed it from a place where it was coming from us, instead of trying to speak to the things that we think people want to hear. I think there's a very big difference between saying what you think they want and saying the thing that you really want to say. And that's where our disconnect comes in. And that's where the difference between where we are energetically vibrating at will depend on where we're speaking from. I can never speak to someone to say something so that you do something else. I will never come out and start thinking, I'm going to make everyone feel sad for me. So I'm going to tell you the story of when my husband died. Like, I could do that. I could turn that all the way up and make you feel sorry for me so you buy something I'm selling. But that's not who I am. That's not the truth of who I am. That's not the essence of who I am. I would rather speak from the place of, this is what I really want to say right now. This is how I'm really feeling right now. This is the lesson that I've learned. This is something that I've discovered. This is something that I've now realized, in the way that I'm hoping, or not hoping, knowing that this information is going to be received by the right person, the right people. They're going to hear me speak on this, and that is going to trigger something within them to either have a new thought or a new idea or go do something different. That's the whole idea of all of us speaking when we need to speak, when we need to get this message out, because all these beautiful little energetic codes within our existence are all matching up along the way in order for all these things to sort of unfold for us in our experience and the things we're creating. So when I'm speaking from the truth of who I am, that is going to be heard by someone else. That is going to hit the truth of who someone else is. That could spark something in someone else to continue on their journey, to spark their own words of truth, to spark them doing something different. Versus if I'm telling you what you want to hear and you're going, that feels really good, you're just staying in the same spot. So is the person who you're receiving. Yes, you can make money from that, but you're both here. You're both, yeah, I'm just over here. And this person's like, yeah, I'm just over here. I'm going to buy your stuff. I'm going to sell stuff. And it's boring. And that's just for me. It's boring for me. For other people, that's perfect. And that is still going to exist. And there has to be some sort of element of that in our existence to balance it all out, right? But for me, I would rather speak from my heart. And if I had something that I knew was going to benefit someone else and that I wanted to offer someone else, I would share that. But it wouldn't be in a way of, ooh, I know how the mind works, and I'm going to use certain words and certain body language so that you are going to buy the thing that you want. I would rather my truth to match your truth. And if we were energetically aligned to continue and learn or grow or do something together, then it would happen, because that is what the next step is. So when you are blindly following other people and just sort of following the things that they're telling you to do, or the things that you think you should be doing, before you do, just sort of check in and say, is this something I really want to do? Does this feel like my own truth? Does this feel good in my body? And just test it, check it. Is it for you? If it's not, find something else. And even if it's part of this 5-step plan that you got organized, you're going to find something else. There's a million different ways to speak. There's so many ways to sell. There's so many ways to get your voice and your message out there. There's going to be something that's going to be perfect just for you. And the way that I was able to really start tuning into this was where I speak of vibrating out of the light grid. And I dance around talking about that. I do have a video on how it sort of came about. But I've danced around that so much because it's like, oh my God, I can't say that. Oh no. Oh no, I can't do that. Oh no, that's not what everyone else is doing. Because even though I was so connected to what I consider the light grid, and to me, the light grid is a space of light filled with grids, which are the ideas, the essence, the myth, the story, the religion, all the things that were created, I'm going to say in the beginning, just for a purpose sake, to allow people to have something to hold on to so that they could start waking up or becoming or start moving into this process of increasing our vibration and of moving towards the light. I see all those stories that we talk about, that we connect to, that even I still connect to get the essence of what it is, to allow me to understand what its purpose was. What was it created for? It's like looking at religion, right? So we're looking at the story of Jesus, and it's not about following Jesus, doing what he says. To me, the essence from the story is to realize how powerful you are, to step into your own voice, to become your own truth, to lead people regardless what other people think. And I think we get caught up in these grids and these stories that, because we have not been able to tune in yet enough to the ultimate power that we have within ourselves, we attach ourselves to these stories as our truth and connect ourselves energetically and vibrationally to these other truths out there. So when we're getting our intuitive thoughts, when we're moving through things, we're just continually drawing on from all these stories, from all these experiences, from all these things that are existing in the light grid. So when I moved out of that and then I moved into the dark, it was a place where I could be quiet. It was also a painful place to move through my own shadows and literally move through my own darkness, if you will, and create a whole world where I could allow everything that I was not seeing properly or wanted to keep down or hadn't fully released or hadn't been able to fully see yet. That was a space where I could release from all the noise of the light grid and just sit in this space and allow that process to happen. And you can do that process any way you want. But what that also taught me was the whole idea of being an individual and having our own creation and creating our own existence, because it's very easy to sit in the light grid and attach to everything that everyone is saying. And that's, oh my goodness, there is so much in the light grid, and I'm going to use the word stories, but don't think of it as, you're telling a story, because I truly believe that what people see and what people feel and what they're doing is based on exactly where they're at. There is definitely a truth to it because they believe in it. And I believe that we will see exactly what we're going to see because that's all we're seeing. It's my part of the truth of who I am is to give you an alternative, because if we live in this energetic creation of this universe that literally no one really knows enough about, that is based on things that really no one knows about, that we can create images in our head of the things that we want and the things that we want to be, then I don't see why we can't create our own reality based on the things that we want instead of the things that other people have created or the things that other people have wanted. So for me, going back and being in the dark allowed me to see that, really sort of step into that individualization of understanding and believing and seeing that I am the creator. I get to create what I want. I get to decide the things I believe in. I get to choose the things that I want to offer in the way that I want to offer, even if it looks different to what someone else is, even if it's not the way that the experts tell you. Because just because there's collective energy, and by collective energy, I mean there's a lot of energy sitting around a certain belief, a certain idea, a certain topic, there's going to be a lot more acceptance of what the idea is and what it's offering and how to do something. Because, well, if 90% of people are believing this, of course, well, it must be true then, because all these people are believing it. But for me, I don't want to draw or believe the things that everyone else is telling me. Yes, I still seek information with what's out there right now. I seek it, whether it's through spirituality, whether it's through religion or science or myth or the stories of before us. And it's not so I can get the truth to it. It's so I can hear the story of it and understand the way that it works, the message that it has, and then see how I can apply that into the things that I want or the truth that I am. I don't diss anything that I hear or what people believe in, because there's the number one thing I have learned is there is not one thing that everyone will agree on. And that is because we all have our own truth. We all have our own view of seeing things depending on where we are. But I also believe because of that, because we all have our own views, is that then that means that we can create the things we want to see. So we don't need to follow what so-and-so has done or what has been done via history or what is popular because this is how you do it and this is how everyone else is doing it. I truly believe that once you are able to get that vibration of yourself high enough, those colors of yourself so illuminated that you become the truth of who you are, and you really get to tap into the genius of your message and what that is. And what happens is once you get that and you tap into that, when you start speaking about the things you have to offer or the things that you are passionate about, all those other things just fall to the wayside because you don't have those shadows or those beliefs anymore that are there trying to bring you down, because it's like you've suddenly just locked in the truth of who you are, and you can only do forward motion. You can only grow from that space. You can only continue on from there. And I'm speaking from someone who has been over here and over here and over there and done this and done that. But it's only recently where I finally discovered exactly what I want to do, what I want to be, what I want to feel, what I want to create. And none of the other stuff matters anymore. So if there's a thought or belief, which will still come, because that's the whole essence of being a human, right? Because we are these souls or spirits, however you want to look at it, having this human experience. So we still need to experience things as a human. So there are still those forces that are going to try and bring us down. There's still those forces that are going to try and bring us away from that goal that we want, or those desires that we have, or the truth, who we are right on the inside of our being. And it's interesting to watch them now, instead of going, okay, I'm going to put out this thing and this thing's going to be amazing. And then it's, oh my God, you're such an idiot. No one's going to buy that. Oh my God, that's so bad. Why'd you write that? Oh my God, you can't do that. And those voices are like, not today. Nope. Because you won't hear them anymore. They'll come up. And because you're in such a place now that you know this is where you are, you know that this is your truth, you know that this is the essence of your being, there's nothing that's going to stop you now. And because you're vibrating at that higher energetic level, because you're in your luminescent field, you are at that beautifulest form of light, because luminescence is literally an extension of light. It's the light that comes from normal light. Normal light can be produced by heat. There's no light in luminescence, which means there's no shadow. It's like the purest form of light you can get. So in the luminescence, there's no shadow. There's nothing that's going to attack you. They're going to try. It's going to come in and go, ooh, ooh, and you're going to go, no, 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 no. But you will have whatever tools you have. You will work on whatever you work on. You won't have to continually sort of go, oh, because I know before it was like, but now it's laser focus. It's the luminescence. The luminescence, something that actually came to me after I scattered my husband's ashes, and it was the way, and I didn't know at the time, but it sort of flowed in over a small period of time. But watching how it sort of rose to the top of the water, and how it sat there as that luminescent color frequency on something like water, which is literally, perceived as colorless. So understanding the essence of that and being able to sort of bring that in and now create that as my reality, it's such a place that feels so expansive, and the truth of who I am down to my bones, because we know the things that we want. We can feel the things that we want. But when we're clouded by those energetic connections we have of the things around us, we can't see them clearly. We can't get to that stage of keep following those things that we know, even when our brain's disagreeing, even when everything around us is disagreeing. In our bones and in the essence of who we are, we know that there are things that are possibilities for us. And it's the same as when people are talking about, oh, I can see this timeline, I can see this possibility. Over in the luminescent field, I have made it so simple and so easy that we don't need to do all that other stuff, because over in the light grid, there was too much, because, it was me drawing on beings outside of myself. It was me using tools around me, like in cards or pendulums or crystals, to be who I was. And none of those things are bad or not helpful. It's just, as you get more and more in tune, more and more high vibrational frequency, you don't need those things anymore. So for me, it's just a matter of knowing what my desire is. I'm in tune with who I am. I don't have the shadow anymore. That is going to cloud my judgment, or to cloud the information of what my next step is, or how I'm going to do things. Of course, I may still do things that are being taught out there, or things that people are doing, because I'm still living in this human world. However, it will not be like everyone. I can guarantee that. And I know my whole life, I've always been very sort of individualized, you can't tell me what to do. And I always thought that you can't tell me what to do was like an angst, it's me trying to be rebellious, or me, fight the power type thing. But it wasn't. that me wanting to not have people tell me what to do is just the essence of myself that allowed me to push through some of the most horrific and horrible experience through my life. But it was that drive, even though they may not seem related, it was me using the I'm going to prove my point that drove me to being able to push through and push past and keep continuing. And I know not everyone's the same, and I know we all have different experiences and different feelings and different ways of how we react. But over in the luminescent field, we're just operating on a high vibrational frequency. We are in tune with the truth of who we are. We are following our intuition, but it's not even we are following our intuition. We are not doubting anything that comes in. We are knocking off any of those thoughts that may come in that try to sneak in and bring us down, because we're bigger than that. We're greater than that. We've moved on from that. We know how to deal with that. We know how to push past that. We know how to tap into that essence. We know what we are feeling in our body is our next step. We know that this is what we're doing. And we don't have to do any rituals. We don't have to do any special modalities. We just continue to believe in the truth of who we are and allow those next steps to fully unfold as they need to, knowing that we are where we need to be right now. Our bodies don't know this next version of self because it's something new, and that's what we do in the luminescence. That's what we learned in the dark as well. It's creating from nothing. We don't know how to be different. If you look back at your whole life and you see the different versions of you, you would not think that this version right here was this version over here, that you progress through these different versions of yourself, whether it was different attitudes or different experiences or different people you hung out with or different things you used to do. There are so many already. There's already been so many versions of you. So this next version of you, this next level version of you is scary, and your body's just trying to keep you safe. Your subconscious like, no, let's be safe. Let's be here. But you know that this next version is coming. You just don't know what it looks like. You don't have the proof of what it looks like because it's new and you are creating. You're creating something new. You are following your own luminescence. You are vibrating in your high energetic vibrational frequency, operating through the luminescent field and just tapping into that essence of who you are. You just need to make sure that whilst you're in here, while you're up here, that you are following these steps and these motions, that you are allowing these things now to formulate and become your reality. Because it's very easy to get to this place and go, oh yeah, look at me. I'm so amazing. I've got all these amazing feelings and ideas. And you can get lost in there. I know I can. It's like, I've got this idea. Now I've got this idea. But we need to continue on. We need to get those luminescent codes out and into this reality as physical matter. And the luminescence is my field. This is where we are going to create some amazing new things. I want to help you bring your luminescence into matter. And there's 3 different ways. You can get my free stuff on YouTube, or you can follow me on all the socials, or you can jump into the Disruptive Frequency membership. The disruptive frequency is literally how we create in the luminescent field. The luminescent field is not start here, go there, let's do this, let's do that. We are swirling, we are expanding, we are jumping from thing to thing. We are creating a disruptive environment. Did I even say that word? We are creating a disruptive environment for your luminescence to fully be able to form into matter. And in order to do that, we can't do that the way that everyone else does. We can't do it in a set format. It will be unique to you, but it will be in a way that allows you to really bring in the true luminescence of who you are and what that creation is going to be. So inside the Disruptive Frequency membership, there is a 12-week program. So each week you will learn something new, which will help you move towards whatever that next creation. Yes, that was another all. So we will be focusing on whether it's a new offer, whether it's a new course or a new social media platform. And I will show you and help you with all of that, with your graphic design, with your videos, audios, platforms, course creators, because the beauty of it, and I don't even realize how many things I've actually learned over the last few years and how many different areas I can help you with, because as someone who learns pretty quickly and someone who was trying to chase things from thing to thing, I've been able to fill up my little toolbox with a lot of things, not just with spirituality, not just with modalities, but with everything else. So with social media platforms, with content creation, with even AI tools now, and moving more into more of the NFT and that kind of space. It's just created this whole plethora of tools that I can help you. So whilst you are trying to really allow that luminescence of who you are come to the surface, doesn't matter what it is, I am 100% certain I can help you bring that out and really create that into whatever it is that you want with all these skills. So that is happening right now. So you can jump in on that anytime. And also offering, there's only one space for this. And at the time of creating this video, that space is currently open because it's a one-on-one event. It is for 6 months, and we will be making that luminescence matter. Do you like what I did there? So we will be creating one-on-one whatever it is you need to get that out. It doesn't matter what it is, we'll be working on it, whether it's something emotional, spiritual, whether it's something physical that you want to get out there, or something tech-wise or online. We will work on it, we will get it done, and we will move it. And by the end of that 6 months, boom, you are too bright. Let's put our sunglasses on, because the luminescence will be illuminating everywhere. And who knows, we could literally create something and create something else. It's only going to be as good as the effort that you want to put into it. So I have one space for that. If you're interested and want to learn more about that, let me know. Otherwise, keep following me on social media. And just remember, it's in the disruption of the luminescence that matter is created. Go find something that you want to create. Increase that vibration, find your luminescence, and escape from things that people have already created. Start creating something new. And if you're watching me, you already know that deep down you believe this in there somewhere.